and in a very high stressed environment, and how this can be done. And here we have an example of Coach Steve Kerr of how he motivates his team, in this particular case with Steve Curry. All right, take a look at this. We'll just watch this, a little bit of this video.
I'm going to show you. That's your shooting totals. That's your plus minus. All right, so it's not always tied together. You're doing great stuff out there. The tempo is so different when you're out there. Everything you generate for us is so positive. It shows up here, not always there, but it always shows up here. You're doing great. Carry on, my son. I would love to feel what you're feeling, man. Parts of my life. For me, like, if I went like 5 for 6 and made 4 threes, that was about the best I ever did. Love it. One of the things I love about you is you're like 2 for 11. No one understands shooting a 60-footer. Nobody in the league does that. You have so much confidence in yourself, and within games like this, you turn it around like that. That's awesome. Amazing. Wish I had your confidence.
All right. I'll tell you, when I grow up, I want to be Steve Carey. I think this is so wonderful. All right, so let's take a look at some things that he did. All right, he shows them their stats. Okay, he uses stats to praise and show where to improve. He uses casual conversation. What we're talking about here is not per se a big, long, drawn-out, 90-minute, monthly, weekly performance review. Get that out of your head. We can talk about that later. We have other workshops on how to deal with those, with the actual 6-month reviews and the 1-year reviews. Those we'll deal with later. What we're talking about here is a casual, formal, professional, but yet friendly conversation that should happen on an ongoing basis. And these conversations are short moments. He does this on a regular basis, and he does it continually. Okay, now you're going to ask, all right, how? Let's dive in further. All right, so when we look at the graph of how it of the onboarding process, this is how you need to dissect it a little more and understand this. Is that during phase 1 of the process, when you are interviewing, when you are talking to them about recruiting them, that's where you communicate the expectations. That's when you tell them about the job. You show them the job description, and you actually show the actual metrics and the things that they will be successful at. Now, you do not show a lot of, you don't show any confidential information or any numbers that somebody could take away and bring to the competition or make public. You don't show those, but you do show what is expected in their job. You come up with about 6 or 7 clear expectations, and when you hire them and you bring them on board, the training that you do is tailored for them to meet those expectations. And then through the coaching process, you meet with them on a regular basis to have those 15, 20-minute conversations at most. Okay, if you can't do this within 10, 15 minutes, you're spending way too much time. And if those meetings do get long, then what you need to do is call your training department, or you call your trainers, or realize that I need to provide additional training to where it's now get back in the classroom or get back into showing them how to do things. But you should be able to do this type of ongoing mentoring and coaching in 10, 15, maximum 20-minute conversations on a regular basis. All right, so what you do is you take these expectations and you put them, we like to use a spreadsheet. As a matter of fact, we have a spreadsheet that you can download, and we'll send you the link to download it after the webinar, where we have a template on how we do this and how we have found it extremely, really powerful with all of our clients. So you set up your 7 expectations. Here we set up 7 examples of just very general, because you would have to make these expectations specific to each person's job. And what you're going to do is you're going to simply enter a 1, a 2, or a 3. All right, 1 means that you're at a beginner level. You got to push hard. 2 means that you're improving. You got to keep going. Or 3, you're doing an excellent job. You keep it up. All right. So the message that you're sending on a regular basis to the team member is get out of red, get into yellow, and grow into green. All right. And the way to do that is you put these expectations into the spreadsheet that you would download from us. There they are listed there. And over at the top, you have every column is 1 week. And we color coded them to show the first month and the second month. So you meet with them the first week, and they're probably not going to score very high because they're beginners. So it's reasonable to start them at 1. Okay. Then they keep doing their work. The second week, You sit down with them and you review them, and now you show them where they're doing really well. They're making a lot of improvement in some areas, so you change it to 2. The cool thing about the spreadsheet is that when you enter 1, it automatically changes to red. When you press 2, it automatically changes to yellow, and when you change it to 3, you enter 3, it automatically turns to green. So again, download the spreadsheet from our website. Okay, email us. And we'll provide you the link after this webinar. All right, then you continue this process for the 3rd, for the 4th week. Your goal that you've communicated to them is that it's clear. Here's your expectations, and we want you after 4 weeks to be out of red in these areas. Now I hear people say, well, what if we have new expectations? Well, it's a spreadsheet. You can add to it, and you can start them on that week. Just don't overwhelm them with their expectations, because then you're going to bury them and they're not going to grow because you are making their workload extremely too high. So you really should have no more. We tell our clients have no more than 10, maximum 12 top expectations, what determines them to be performing well. By the time you get to weeks 5, you should be seeing some greens. So you should be scoring them in greens. Then you keep going, and you should see that they're improving in greens. They're getting out of yellow. Now you notice item number 15, they went back to red, and this is very normal. People go in and out of skills, but at least you're monitoring it. You don't have to get frustrated. You know, you're coaching them. You pointed out to them that you're scoring down a 1. They might get upset with you. You might have to have a conversation, a tough, crucial conversation about, hey, come on, I really need you to focus on this. What you did last week did not work. I scored you 1. We talked about it. You continue to do it. I really need you to get out of this. We're about to get to the 8th week. I need you to be in green by the 8th week on all these. But they know that you know that they know that you're going to meet with them on a weekly basis. This doesn't get away from you. This is important. This is what's called accountability, coaching, and consistency. Then the goal is 7th and 8th week goes by. You see them getting out of yellow, out of red entirely. In this particular case, this example, which by the way was a real example, they didn't get out of yellow in everything, but they did get out of green. They did get out of red, but they're definitely in yellow and green. But I'm not going to stop. This is only the end of the 2nd month. We're going to continue this through month 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I assure you, as certain as it is throwing a ball up in the air and the laws of nature bring that thing down, we have seen it repeatedly. When you follow this, there's just this certain thing in nature that people realize that, wow, this works. This creates accountability, increases engagement, increases performance. Why? Because you're communicating and you're building a great relationship between the supervisor and the team member. Okay, so then how often do you do this? All right, you should do it on a weekly basis for the first 2 months if they're showing that they're getting out of red and into yellow and green by the end of 2 months, like the example we just showed you. In this particular case, if you notice on the screen, I would move this person now to bi-weekly. Why? Because they got out of red and they hit 8. The 8th week was really good performance. Then I would go into the following month, from 2nd to the 3rd month, do it bi-weekly. At the end of 3 months, if they've gotten into green entirely, then you monitor it monthly. And if at any point you need to go back to bi-weekly or weekly, then you do it. And then you stay doing this monthly. You never stop doing this monthly. Then when you get to your 6-month, big 6-month evaluation, you've done 95% of the work. That 6-month evaluation becomes extremely normal. And it becomes just part of the ongoing conversation. When you get to the 1 year, you've already done 90% of the work anyway. You're not catching people by surprise, and your performance reviews becomes a conversation based on a relationship that you're having, rather than catching each other by surprise at the end of 6 months or 12 months, only to tell each other later what you should have been saying to them all along. So that's why this process works. Okay, so what are your takeaways? The takeaways is that it costs too much money to not do it. Okay. The second takeaway that I want to encourage you is just be real honest with yourself. You hire them. You have to develop them. You brought them up. You birthed them into your kingdom. You brought a team member. You can't just leave them alone. You have to develop them. Okay. You will find that if you do this, they will be willing if they see that you are willing. They will take out the time if you take out the time. If they realize it's this serious to you, it will become this serious to them. And fourthly, download the spreadsheet from our website. And don't forget, the secret sauce is coaching on a regular basis and mentoring. All right, we're near the end, so I need you to just kind of, where does everything else fit in that I told you I was going to cover later? So coming up, we're going to be doing another webinar number 2, in which we're going to cover the first phase. How do you recruit effectively? See, we need to cover phase 3 first, so that now you know that that's what we're building that's what they can expect. Now, how do I change and improve the recruiting process during phase 1? Then we'll also cover the arrival of phase 2. What should happen the first day, what should happen the first month, and what should happen the first 2 weeks. All right, webinar number 3 is when we're going to get into how to interview and how to identify top performing candidates through the interview process. All right, you're thinking, all right, man, but I want to move a little faster. I've got to get this under my belt. So therefore, what I'm telling you is you need to come and attend our 1-day onboarding boot camp. On that day, what we will do is we will show you the complete work. We'll provide you the whole enchilada, okay? We're going to cover phase 1, recruitment, phase 2, the arrival, phase 3, the mentoring, phase 4, performing, which we didn't touch on it today, but you have to realize phase 4 is what you want to get everybody to, so that they all become self-producing, high-performance team members. We will give you all the forms. We give you all the steps. We have the manual completely laid out so you can tailor it, and we can tailor it with you. We have the interview questions, interview guidelines, and for this 1-day workshop, we're giving you guys that have attended this workshop a special 30% discount. So contact us, remind us, because we do a lot of these. Remind us the date and the time of when you attended the webinar. We'll have it all in record, and we'll give you the discount, 30% discount. It's normally $695. We'll give it to you for $485, and we'll add this special for you guys, that we will put you in workshops where we will not have 20, 30 people. We'll do it in smaller groups, and we will tailor that day's workshop to your needs, because we'll have a smaller group and we'll be able to tailor it to that team, to those attendees. You can't get this better price anywhere. It's fantastic. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. The webinar, the 1-day boot camp is 30, 40 times more jam-packed, because it provides you the whole process from beginning to end. All right, guys, thank you very much. I hope this was very helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got a whole lot of it. Do not forget the secret sauce. Email me at maurice@teamworworld.com, or text me, call me at 225-505-2823, and come into the workshop. We have one coming up next month. We'll send you a calendar of getting yourself into it, and we'll be offering those workshops once every 2 months, because we're spacing it out and we're filling them up. So come and join us on the workshops, and let us help you out. Guys, again, thank you for joining us. Stay in touch.